Hey guys, welcome back to Fight Promoter University, and this is Money Fights, where we talk about the business behind the fight game. Today's topic, I want to talk a little bit about what goes into making a big event and why that stigma of needing undefeated fighter or one of the very best in the world is required to get those sellout crowds, those million plus pay-per-view buys. And I want to give some examples. So first of all, and we're going to talk about some of the top level of the sport, and then I'll relate it to club shows. So, McGregor Poirier 2 just did over 1.6 million pay per view buys. This is with McGregor in the last few years losing two MMA fights, losing a boxing fight. He's clearly not one of the top guys in the sport anymore, at least at 155, it seems. So, I mean, one of the top guys, but he's not the top guy. There's at least two or three guys in the division that could beat him on any given night. Yet he is by far the biggest seller. Khabib could come out tomorrow and fight GSP, and I think it would be a close call whether those pay-per-view buys exceeded what McGregor just did against Poirier in the second fight. So 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. Then you have Mike Tyson, who's in his 50s, who came back and fought Roy Jones Jr., as well as Jake Paul, a YouTube star, fighting a retired NBA vet. They did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Tell me how that makes sense. If you need an undefeated, top of the game level fighter, if you need the best fight in the best to get those kind of numbers, then tell me how those two pay-per-views sold the way they did. Yeah, you can't. Now you got Floyd Mayweather coming back to fight Logan Paul. Easily going to do 1 million pay-per-view buys, maybe 1.5. You've got Jake Paul going to be fighting Ben Askren. I wouldn't be surprised if that does. I don't want to say 1 million, but it's going to do a lot. Jake Paul sold out, or I think it was Logan Paul sold out the Staples Center when he fought another YouTube star, KSI, a couple years ago. So we're in a new era here, guys. This isn't an era anymore where, you need the Muhammad Ali's, the Mike Tyson's, the Floyd Mayweathers to make some big money in the sport in that pay-per-view realm. As long as you have the right attention from social media, whatever kind of fan following you have, you don't even have to be a boxer, and you can come out and do these kind of numbers. And really, this all comes down to what is a promoter. You are a marketing professional. You are an event planner. You are a business owner. You don't have to play the role of a sanctioning body where um, it's just not about that anymore. It is. It will always be about that to some degree, but you don't need those things. And then how does this relate to the club show scene? Well, it's in my mind, it's a microcosm of what the club show scene is, which is that you're never going to have these A-level talents on your card, or at least when they've hit the peak of their world championship abilities. Maybe you'll get them early in their career when they've got a couple fights. I know Roy and I've had Roy especially. He's had guys on his card such as Shane Mosley when he was early in his career, etc. I'm not talking about that. I just mean you can do huge numbers on the club show level without having that top guy, and it all comes down to how you promote the show, what kind of following the fighters have, and then how you harness that to market to your event. And I really wanted to paint this picture. I won't drag on and on because I can go into details for an hour about this, and I do in the course, but I just think it's very important to understand what we're doing here. Another example, Ryan Garcia is now fighting Manny Pacquiao. They're not even close to the same weight. Well, 12 pounds, but in the boxing world, that might as well be 1 million pounds in some cases. So it's like an exhibition or something. And you know what that's all about? It's about a money grab. It has nothing to do with anything but a money grab. Manny Pacquiao has a huge name. He's a legend. And Ryan Garcia is trying to capitalize off of this hype crescendo he's in right now. That's why he tried to get Tank, but Golden Boy squashed it because they don't want him to lose. They don't want him to lose to him and Tank to steal his shine. So if he fights and loses to Manny Pacquiao, which I don't think he can beat Manny Pacquiao. But if he fights and loses to Manny Pacquiao on an exhibition, that's a little bit more explainable because then it's like, well, he fought this legend early in his career. He's only 21, so he went up in weight to fight him. This is a money grab. I hate to say it, but the Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Tyson, and Triller, the company that's helping put these pay-per-views on, they've changed the game. Now it's almost like I don't want to call it celebrity boxing because celebrity boxing was a little bit different. It was, the Jose Cansecos of the world, and I don't know. I never thought that the people that they got in the ring in those celebrity boxing matches were always of the highest caliber, both in talent and popularity. And then also, I think a lot of times they were amateur fights, so they had headgear on, and but these YouTube stars are taking it to another level, and now boxers are starting to take a page out of that book. McGregor also kind of lit the fire when he crossed over from MMA to boxing. Um, he got the best fighter of all time, in my opinion, Floyd Mayweather. He got the best fighter of all time with zero boxing experience. Well, he fought in the amateurs in Ireland, but zero professional boxing experience. So this is where we're at now. I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, I just have an idea here that I think could make waves. If you were somehow able to get a very popular figure in your city, whether it be a political figure like a mayor, or whether it be the owner of the commissioner of the fire department versus the commissioner of the police department, and then hype it. I mean, this is what you can do as your main event, and then fill the rest of the card with legit boxers that you either have signed and are trying to grow their career. This is how you have to be thinking. And we live in a time right now. I know the vaccine's rolling out and things are getting back to normal. We're already doing shows, but you know I think that this is the perfect opportunity to come out with a bang and kind of use your entrepreneurial ability and know-how to put on an event that generates extra attention. Anyway, I hope this sits with you. This has been something that's been sitting on my mind for a while, and we're starting to incorporate it in some of our things moving forward. And let me know what you think in the comments. Wherever you're watching this, whichever social channel you're watching this on, leave in the comments. Let me know what you think. And then tell me about what you're planning in your upcoming event, or who, if you're a manager, how you're going to utilize this with your fighter. And anyway, yeah, so just my thoughts, and tune in for the next show, and we'll see you then. Thanks.